John, when did I speak with you last? When did I see? It was Bentonville, right?
Yes, it was Bentonville.
Has your hair grown since then? How many months ago was that? I feel like your
That was a few months ago. My hair hasn't been cut since March, so
so okay, I'm like, his hair is longer.
so it keeps getting longer. And what's funny is that my wife keeps cutting her hair. So our joke is that she's going to look like Persis Kambata from the original Star Trek movie because she's going to be bald, and then I'm going to look like I'm ready for the Night's Watch at Game of Thrones because I did between the
Oh,
goatee and the
so
hair.
good.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
I hope I get an opportunity to chat with you again, maybe in like another 4 months, and I'll just see the progress.
Exactly. Well, that's that. Well, we're going to talk about that. So I'll formally introduce here because this is for Films Gone Wild, and this is like my third interview I think I've done with you over the course of the film festival tour. But this is the first time for Films Gone Wild, and I was thinking about that last night because I was going. I've talked to Alice about everything under the sun about Donut King, and I said, but I still have questions, and some of it relates to because I've been able to kind of, although I wasn't there in March talking to you right after or during the South by situation and what have you, but I talked to you pretty soon after, not that long after, and now we're like, for me, I think this is like the fourth festival that I've been involved with, that you've been part of, and there've been and you've been in twice as many as that, because I'm not with every festival in the world, although sometimes
I wish you were.
exactly, sometimes it seems like that. But I wanted to talk to you about how's it been, because now I can get a progression report from you, because you've even won a few more awards since I've seen you last. So how has it's a weird year. It is a weird year for a filmmaker to do a film festival tour, and you have had, I think, almost the best case scenario as anybody could have gone through this experience. But that's at me looking on the outside, writing press releases and writing Donut King with best audience award or or special jury mention or what have you. That's not you. So talk to me about that, and how has it been for you?
Well, it's a little bit well, I guess ignorance is bliss. I don't even know what I'm missing to some degree.
Right.
Although I have an active imagination and I can only imagine. Well, I'll put it this way. In January, I had an idea of what my year would be like. I'm like, oh my God, am I gonna have time to work? Am I gonna be in like all over the country and maybe world? And I wasn't sure about winning awards, but we knew that we thought we'd have a good festival life. So now that it's not the world that I imagined back in January of this year, and as you said, I'm very grateful for the run that we've had, and on paper, we're doing okay. We got acquired, we won a few awards, but it's actually as the festivals have gone on that I feel like I really feel that tinge of bittersweet. There've been a couple of happy hours. I think, Bentonville, when we won the award there, that was tremendous, and then at Urban World, we won the best documentary there. And Ashley, the programmer, she called personally. She's like, I didn't want to just send you an email. She's like, I wanted to call you and tell you. And that was really different actually to hear it as opposed to just see it, as pixels through glass. And I didn't know what that feeling was like until she called me, and it was so much more emotional and incredible. And that actually made me feel like, God, if I was actually just in a room with people, like how incredible this would feel.
Well, something. It's funny. I think it was Jesse Fairbanks at Hot Springs,
Mhm.
and we were talking about you, and we were talking about the film, um, and and I was thinking about this subject because I was talking about having had you at the other festivals, and and what have you, and the way she talked about you. Is the way that oftentimes programmers talk about filmmakers, and there was this thing of of like wanting to protect you and wanting to take care of you, and
Oh,
and programmers, and that's and that's not just, while she is awesome and amazing, that's not singular to her. That is something that kind of runs very strong in programmers at festivals, that sometimes I don't think filmmakers understand. That that they have this kind of this kind of sense of, we we need to take care. They're kind of our babies. These filmmakers are our babies, all right? And and of course you're grown adults, and whatnot. And oftentimes you're the filmmakers are actually senior to the programmers by decades or what have you. But there's still a sense of, a this is a community, and these are our artists, and it's up to us to make sure that that we can do everything we can for them. And I don't think filmmakers always get that. I just don't think they do. And it seems to me that conversation that you had, that you got a little bit of a personal touch of that.
you know what? I'm glad you said that, because I feel like maybe if this were a regular year and everything were in person, I wouldn't have the time to reflect on that, right? I'd be going from party to party, maybe restaurants, dinners, bars, friends. I might be more drunk than usual, and you don't think about that. But I feel like in this time, Janet Pearson from South by Southwest, we've shared a few personal emails, as with Jesse Fairbanks, as with Ashley Edwards at Bentonville, with Shannon at Naples. So I feel, and again, I don't know better. I don't know what it would be like if this were all in person, but I do feel, oh, I feel so supported by all of these programming directors. I feel really close to them. And then the bittersweet thing is I wish I could actually just meet them in person. Like
Well, sure. Yeah.
I'm just really so grateful for the thought and the care that they put into, God,
Yeah.
everything, curating the films, and actually how personally involved they are.
Well, and it's funny, like, I was talking about another filmmaker at another fest, and I was working on the press release to roll out the film lineup and everything, and I was like going, and I was saying I couldn't find a good production still for the film, and he hadn't delivered one for it, and I was going, God damn, Alexander! How many times have I had to tell him, to do this, because I've seen it at other fests years prior, and so he's seen me on panels, he's seen me talk about this and bitch about it. It's like going, when are you guys going to figure this out? Give me a picture that will sell your movie. Jesus Christ, right? Right? And of course, and I'm ranting, to another programmer who of course is on the phone with me and agreeing with me, going, I know, what are we gonna do? Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing, is that we have that, and yes, you do get that when you are at the festival in person. You do get that because everybody's hugging it out, and and when you do an award, they're so excited for you, and when they're doing Q&As, they're bragging on your movie to you in person while they're talking to an audience, and that is, I represent films as well as film festivals, and I've got a couple filmmakers that, just like you, have gone through this thing, and like will call me and go, it just doesn't feel like, should I still be doing this tour? should I still be doing? And I said, I get it. I get it. I said, we're business wise. Yeah, it's still important for us to do. And there's one filmmaker, his case, uh, he won an award and the jury gave a statement as to why, which meant the world to him because that's what he was missing. Because it wasn't like like after a Q&A that somebody could stop him in the lobby of the theater and then and talk about how awesome the movie was to him in person. That that's what you really want as a filmmaker, right? You want a couple people to go, just like Marcus talking to you before about how I had no idea about the pink box. I had no idea about this, that kind of thing. And that is something that I think film festivals right now are really working hard to deliver as much of that as they can without having you in the room. And some of them are doing it better than others.
I feel like they are working so hard. I feel like they're working so hard in this really weird and bizarre time to have us connect. I know Urban World, they had a meet and greet orientation, and people, and that was another bittersweet moment. I was like, God, these people are so cool. I wish I was meeting them in person. We'd totally be exchanging info. Hot Springs worked really hard about, they had a few happy hours where they actually had like a breakout room with tarot card readers. And then this one, they themed them out. We just do the best we can. We're like, okay, this is just like, all right, I'm going to go in that room and see who's in there. I'm going to go in this room and see who's in there. And I feel like they're doing their best to make, robust film festival experiences for us.
Well, here's another thing I wanted to ask you about, because, now you're a director, now you got your name on a movie, but you are also, a camera person. You're also, working with other filmmakers. And that's also one of the key things that a film festival brings to filmmakers is making this connection so you can work on other people's projects, or they can work with you, they can collaborate or what have you. And, I know when you roll out a film like this, as you were saying, as you're looking at the year ahead, you're like going, it's going to be about promoting this film all year long and, until we get a deal and, and then we're distributing and what have you. But you're still looking at future work. And you're still like, have that in mind as well. So, has that progressed this year?
I've met, I have met with some interesting people. I have some good friends on my side who have slipped select links to select friends. So, that has been incredible. I'm taking some meetings virtually.
Okay.
And again, you have to impress, through pixels and through glass, to be like, hey, and trying to have your personality come through and make a good impression. I did meet, from one of the other festivals, another director. This was actually so meaningful. Another director, I'm actually humbled by how kind he was. He reached out. It was actually through one of the Zoom happy hours, and there's like a little chat, and he said, hey, I want to talk to you about donuts. I said, anytime, email me. And he's like, when you come to California, I'll tell you what shops to go to. And he emailed me, and he sent the nicest email, and he said, I expected to see a lot of excellent docs because everything had been excellent. He's like, but I didn't expect to get my mind blown. And he's like, look, he's like, I could go on and on. He's like, but this would turn into like an essay. But he said, I can't believe this is your first film. He's like, it makes me want to do better. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe you took the time out to write me this email. This means so much. And then in turn, he said, hey, I'm looking, who's your colorist? Who did this? And I said, yeah, let's totally exchange info. Like, I'll help you, of course. Like, I'll introduce you to my friends. You introduce me to your friends. And that was so lovely. And that meant so much to me. So I can only imagine how much more positivity, would be happening if this were in person, if these festivals were in person.
And I mean, listen, we, when we make films on the budget level and on the ambition level and what have you, like, the Donut King on the documentary side, or, or films, on the narrative side, that network is so key. And building that community is so absolutely key, because you're not operating in a studio system, and yeah, you may have representation and you may be going through these channels, but it's never easy to get funding to do a documentary, unless maybe you're Alex Gibney, maybe, right?
Right.
When you reach, you're in got that kind of systematic, situation. So you're still always in pursuit of that, and you're always still trying to optimize what you can do budget wise. And so therefore you do need to, just as you need to recommend a colors to somebody else, like, I get emails all the time from folks going, I'm shooting interviews for 2 days in Dallas. I need a sound guy. And I go, okay, I've got the sound guy for you, or I've got the DP for you.
Yep.
I would not shoot something myself unless they're available. And that's how we do it, right? It's like, if you're based on the West Coast and you're going to New York, to do some stuff, you may even need a place to stay. And so, right. And so then
Yep.
people go, can I crash at your place for 2 days? And then that saves me how many hundreds of dollars on my budget,
Every
right?
dollar counts. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, listen, as you know, because we've talked about this, quite a bit. I'm a huge fan of the film. So I'm not, so I don't think you need me to gush anymore. But what we're going to do to end the interview, much like Marcus did in your prior interview, I wanted to do something fun because
Okay.
of this film. All right. And so I'm going to throw out
Uh-oh.
donut titles at you, and you're going to say thumbs up or thumbs down.
Okay.
Okay. All right. We'll start off with glazed.
Thumbs up.
Okay. Jelly filled. Okay. Okay. Matt.
Does that count?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. We can do that. Crullers.
Thumbs up.
Okay. Okay. Sprinkles. Okay. Cake.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Old fashioned. Okay. That's so I'm ending with my favorite's old fashioned. So
I love old fashioned. Who
okay.
doesn't love old fashioned?
Yeah, yeah, that's old fashioned's the winner.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to know anyone who doesn't like an old fashioned. I mean, yeah, I don't want to know.
It's a
They,
fair point.
they've got problems. Yeah.
Well, listen, I could do a series of these interviews, and I likely will, because there's still a couple months left in the year on the tour.
I see you again. I love seeing you.
Well, listen, it's been fantastic. Again, every time, and here's the inside baseball thing. Every time that you're in a film festival of mine, I can just go back to the last press release, and I already have all your information that I can just carry on to the next press release.
Yes.
And
That picture. There's the photo.
here's the other thing. All right, and as closing. So I was talking to another journalist, and I said, when I've got I got Donut King, it's like, am I going to use the animated picture with the guy with the donut, or am I going to use Uncle Ted's picture? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I go, I alternate between them. And I go, I used Uncle Ted's picture the last time. I'll use the picture of the guy with the donut this time.
Oh my God. Oh wait, and I have to confess, I don't think you heard this. So you secured, thank you, that awesome radio show interview
Yes.
a couple days ago at 6:15 in the morning here, which is normally fine. I don't mind waking up. I was telling Shannon that night I was remote directing a shoot in Sweden.
Oh my God.
I finished at 3 or 4 in the morning. I finished at 4.
That's crazy.
It was crazy. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, no, I have to wake up and I have to.
Yeah. Then you're doing like an egg timer nap.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh
But I was like, 6:15, I'm not gonna sleep until 4. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh man, I'm glad I didn't know that, because I would have like had you not do it, because I go sleep. Jesus. Oh.
No, I almost like I went back and was like, do I tell him? Is there any other time? And I was like, no, be pro. These donut people slept, didn't sleep.
True.
I was like, I can do it for one day. I'm like, I'm not going to be that much of a princess. I can do it.
Well, listen, I again love the film to death. I really have just relished the relationship that I've kind of built, with you from afar. I look very, very forward to being able to see you in person.
Can't
And
wait.
yeah, so you have an awesome, super awesome day, and it's just and more success for Donut King.
Thank you so much. I love this, and I hope our paths cross again before the tour, the festival tour is over. I hope it will.
I'm sure it will. All right, have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.